Hey, welcome to 10 with the Founder. We're back. We are here to steal your heart for 10 minutes and tell the truth about the work behind the work. It's your girl, Nita Kellogg, founding executive director of Project Diva International. And today, you're hearing from the adults who walk alongside these girls, the directors, the coaches, the facilitators, and the parents who are choosing to grow with them. So in PDI, y'all, our girls commit to intentionally developing in areas of emotional regulation, mental fitness, and financial curiosity. Yes, and they're doing it super young. But what we don't talk about enough is this supporting that kind of growth requires adults to commit to the same work. Okay. So making space for girls means regulating ourselves. Having a coaching mindset means that we have to examine our thoughts and behaviors and especially because we're teaching financial curiosity, right? That means that we have to be honest about our own relationships with money as well. So this coaching behind the scenes that we do with the girls, it is a shared development. And it's so amazing to be able to see not just the girls grow, but also us women. And so that leads me to Miss Deidre. Hey, Miss Deidre.
Hey, Miss Nita.
Welcome to Five with the Founder. Let's start with sharing with our audience the role you play in supporting the girls at Project Diva International and one thing you find funny about the girls at this time in our history.
So I am the Business 369 facilitator for our teen executives. And one of the things I find funny, and I don't know if it's funny, it's enjoyable, their curiosity around certain topics on money, um, telling them real life examples and their shock and awe. It always gives us adults a little giggle.
It's so for real, especially your session because you're the money session. So you get to tell them real life
Oh,
experiences.
life.
They are flabbergasted. Well, you've been walking alongside our girls this cohort season while also committing to your own growth. And I just want to ask you some questions about that, like from the adult perspective. So let's kick it off with our emotional regulation pillar. As you've intentionally made space for girls to process and grow emotionally, how has supporting them required you to regulate your own emotions with more intention?
I think it's given me a space to actually ground myself in those intentions. I'm not coming in loose and hot, so that helps set the precedent for them and the conversations I have with them, and honestly, how I live my life day to day.
Mm, that is cool. So what has that felt like for you?
It's felt good. I've been with the organization for I don't know 5, 6 years now.
Yeah, about six,
Right.
six, I believe for sure.
6 years now, and just reflecting on some of our initial meetings, the initial presentations, the initial conversations with some of the other women in our kickback sessions, and how I can see myself evolve over time and grow in confidence and just being real and honest in these spaces.
Yeah, I love that. Being in that corporate space, you really have been able to give them insights on how to move just as a human, like as as a being. So it has been really cool to watch. All right, our mental fitness pillar. As you've coached girls to strengthen their mindsets and daily habits in that money space, what habits or mindset shifts have you had to strengthen in yourself to show up healthy and consistent? Because that'd be the thing. Like we can find time for the healthy, but sometimes it's that consistency for them.
I think it's hard, right? So what I try to do is leverage the time and space around the facilitation to work on my own stuff.
Mm.
Otherwise, again, that kind of loose and fast. You finish and you just go off. You're telling them about routines. You're telling them about looking at your money. You're telling them about being mindful and understanding what's going on, and then you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants day to day without any intentionality behind it, and you cannot be successful, especially with your money, if you are not mindful of what's going on, have some routines to help you be disciplined. It's hard to be disciplined in a lot of spaces, but if you build some routines for yourself, it
Mm-hmm.
helps set you up for success.
Do you do a power hour?
I do a power 30 in the morning. I struggle with this stage in my life, being in my mid 40s. Things are changing with my body, and so sleep is
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah.
So the mornings at minimum, do some stretching, a little praying. The stretch is required because I'm rough like the Tin Man. So I so to get the day going, I have to do those things, but also just like uh not just like popping out of the bed and rushing and doing
Mhm.
all those things, just giving myself space to breathe and settle and have some quiet time with myself.
I love that because I love that we all do something, right? Because what we do know is that as we walk them into adulthood, that is so important. Like you said, the best part of what you said is just not getting out the bed and running, right? Like taking that time just to get your bearings, as our grandparents used to say, to do it. But we're all showing the girls how important it is. So that's pretty cool. And the girls are doing it. Like we've had alumni that's told me like, I don't know how people don't do a power hour. Like, what is going on in their life? All right. Well, the last pillar, the financial curiosity pillar, as you've supported girls in becoming curious, not fearful about money, how has this work challenged or deepened your own relationship with finances and long-term planning?
Yeah, so I think off the bat, right, it forces me to learn because things change in the world, things change around topics of money, um, to be mindful, to continue to be a continuous learner, to be able to give them up-to-date information, and that feeds me,
Mhm.
right? And then as I age, what are those, what does my vision look like for myself? Am I working towards that vision? Is it shifting in any way, right? Some things have changed in my life recently. So now what I thought was going to happen this year ain't going to happen. But because I have some grounding, I have some of that discipline and some routines, um, financially, I'm not afraid to
Yeah.
walk into those spaces. You
Mhm.
know, emotional part is a little different, but but change is inevitable. So I think right? I think one of my mottos is always, my personal goal financially is not to be a poor lady, not to have worked all my life, because I watched my mom do it, right? Worked
Yeah.
for a company for a very long time,
Mhm.
and they laid her off at a late in her life, late, from a working perspective.
Yep.
She's in her 50s. It's really hard to get back to those income levels, etc. It was pretty financially devastating to her. So watching that situation happen to her, I just can't. I don't want that to happen to me. So
That is so what's up. And you're ensuring that it does not happen to these girls as they're listening. Martha always brags about how you're the number one session that they talk about because you really have been able to connect with them. Like they feel you've created a space where the financial information, the conversation about money is relatable
yeah,
and executionable for them. Is that the right
yeah,
word? Like they actually execute and come back with, results, whether they're, moving their needle forward or have barriers, they're willing to talk about it. And so that is like the most dopest thing that to see girls like be confident and talking about their money is one of the
mhm,
most beautiful things for me because I just didn't, I wasn't raised seeing that. So
yeah,
we're doing our thing.
yes. I mean, it's the same story for me, right? We just kind of go into the adult world blind when it
Mm,
comes to money, doing the best we can, and to your point, we want them to not just do the best they can, but understand where they're trying to understand where they're going, set some goals for themselves. What's their vision for their life, and how
Mhm.
you're gonna get there. And finances are a part of that story.
Just like the emotional and mental. So yes,
Mhm.
I love that. But my last question is, what has surprised you most about your own growth while supporting theirs?
Um, I think for me, I've kind of eased back on. I can be hard on myself, and that
Mhm.
creates some anxiety, some
Mhm.
anxiousness, and the I'm comfortable. So I feel so comfortable even when I don't know the answer, having conversations and addressing things that maybe I do know the answers to, or there's again some evolution in the topics or what's in the news about particular money topic, right?
Yep.
Cryptocurrencies come up. Don't know that much about that, but I'm confident that I can learn something and be able to speak to it intelligently and present it back to somebody, right? Which is how you learn, which is how you master things. And so I think that's been for me just this evolution of growth, releasing some anxiety, releasing some of the bounds I put on myself,
Yep.
and hot and expectations, um, that no ain't nobody else looking for. I'm doing a good job. So recognize my own self for doing a good job. And maybe that's what it is, self-recognition.
I like that. I like that. And I feel like your position in being the Business 369's coach, facilitator, um, is one of the most important pillars. All of them are important because we can't have the emotional regulation without the mental fitness, without the financial curiosity. And what we do will know is that when girls get into binds, they're able to think through their finances and not feel stuck at any time. Like we just talked to them about turning their thoughts into things. And as long as you have a thought that you can turn into a thing, you can put a value to it and somebody will pay you for it, right? Like compensate you for it. But then also on the relationship side, if they're in relationships where they're with men or women and it's about finances, they're not scared to leave or they're not scared to come out of a toxic situation because we've taught them about the emergency fund or, all the things that, like you just said, make you feel confident and comfortable with making an educated decision on your next move and never feeling stuck. And I feel like that's the most important. We never want them to feel financially stuck. So we thank you so much. Thank you for also spending time on your Friday evening to hang out with me to make this happen so that our audience actually can hear the behind the scenes and the work that we're doing as the adults to support these young ladies. So, audience, as you watch our videos, learning about our girls and now the adults who support them, I invite you, our community, to notice something important. This work does not doesn't just change girls. It is transforming the ecosystems around them. Whether it's your treasure, your time, or your talent, every investment strengthens the path beneath their feet and us adults who are walking beside them. So if something you heard moved you, connect with us, stand with us, and invest in developing stuff that's going on in real time for the girls and the people committed to guiding them. So click the link below to sponsor a girls membership. We would so appreciate it. And remember, because self-discovery is their birthright and modeling growth is our responsibility, let's do it together. All right, y'all. Until soon, we'll see y'all later.